Hello everyone, welcome to Anita's World, a safe space for everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about how to practice spirituality in this capitalistic society. And it can be very difficult to navigate this paradigm while also honoring and connecting with your higher self. So I'm going to be sharing some practices that I do regularly in order to connect with my higher self and get closer to my spiritual self. And so I took some notes, so I'll be kind of looking down at my journal. I actually journaled about this. That's one of the practices that I do regularly as well. And I was like, let me just share this. And I do want to just give like I guess you could say a disclaimer or disclosure that these are my own personal thoughts and perspectives and truths. And I want to make it clear that everyone's truth can be different, so this may not resonate with you. I am simply sharing this video and expressing something that I hope someone out there can receive. So if this doesn't align with you, or if you're not really receiving this message well, that is okay. It may not be your soul's truth, and I am not in the business of trying to shame someone for their belief system or tell someone whether their truth is right or wrong. I don't think that that's my job to do. So I just want to make that clear that everyone's soul's purpose can be different, and I am just going to be sharing mine with the hopes that it resonates with someone out there. And I also want to say that I feel like in this modern day spirituality, we kind of categorize spiritual people as these separate beings from everyone else, but I truly believe that we are spiritual beings living a human existence in this human form, and I don't believe that we are just empty vessels, given the fact that everything is made up of energy. And so when I use certain language, I just want to make it clear that I believe we are all spiritual. I don't think that one person is more spiritual than the other. Just our simple being and existence is spiritual. So I just want to make that clear as well. But I think there are certain practices that you can do that brings you closer to yourself, because this system and structure that we've been programmed to fit into can easily drive us away from our true selves. And then you start to question, like, well, who am I without the money, without the clothes, without the social media presence, without my friends? Who actually am I? So I'm going to jump right in. So the first practice that I do to kind of navigate this capitalistic society is I like to test the matrix. And I know you may be wondering, like, what do you mean, or what does that mean?
What is the matrix? The matrix is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
And I want to share a journal entry. I just finished this journal, and this is my new journal that I'm starting. So August 10th of 2022, I wrote this journal entry that I want to share that kind of expands on this a little bit further. So basically, I'm going to kind of paraphrase some of it, but I have the same way that I've been testing the matrix and the universe is testing me. I had a harmonious day with the universe. It reminded me how routine and ritualistic I am. I test the matrix by not conforming to its systems when it doesn't align with my spirit. Naturally, I go throughout my day with anticipation that my computer will turn on the way it always does, that the elevator will immediately take me to my destination, and so forth. This month and the past few weeks, I've experienced moments where things aren't occurring the way they always do. It makes me laugh because it's humbling, brings me to the present moment, and allows me to communicate with the universe directly. And so reading this back, I remember exactly where I was in this time period. I got stuck in an elevator at work. So I felt like that was like the universe testing me, because when you get in the elevator, oftentimes you're just like, okay, I'm clicking this button, it's gonna take me there. I was having issues with my computer, and a lot of times the things we do are muscle memory. We don't really put much thought into it. When we wake up in the morning, we grab our phones. That's one of the first things many people do. Or when you're logging into your computer, you're not thinking about every single letter you're typing. It's just muscle memory because you're logging in the same way that you do every day. And those are just some things, but you know what your thing is or what your day looks like, and the ritualistic things that we do without thought. You know, even just driving to work, a lot of times, how many times do you get to a destination and you're like, how did I even get here? Like, was that light actually green? Because it's just so muscle memory. We don't even think about the streets that we're turning on. And so testing the matrix is about breaking something within your routine. We've built this ritual within this system where it's like, wake up, get dressed, go to work from 9 to 5, come home, and we just do it on repeat. So there's no disruption to allow us to separate ourselves and separate our souls, I guess you could say, from this capitalistic society, this rat race that we have conditioned ourselves to be in. So this looks personal for everyone, but I just encourage you to test the matrix. Do something that you normally wouldn't do, or it doesn't even have to be anything crazy, but just do something with intention and be fully present in it, and do it because it's outside of your normal day-to-day routine, if that makes sense. And you'll start to realize in those moments you're able to connect deeper with yourself because you're actually being thoughtful and intentional with what you're doing versus doing it out of habit or doing it out of ritual. And routine and rituals, I don't think those are bad things at all, but practicing every now and then, maybe once a week or a couple times a week, where you break up your routine and disrupt things a little bit, and you'll realize that the universe will start to do it back to you, and you'll grow in that, and you'll start to just laugh at those moments and realize that it's your higher self and the universe speaking to you in those moments to slow down, be present, and you don't have to fall subject to this rat race and this system that we're programmed to operate in. So hopefully that makes sense. So the next thing I want to talk about, number 2, is get uncomfortable. So I know I said test the matrix. That doesn't necessarily have to be uncomfortable. It's just kind of breaking up some parts of your routine, some aspects that are just natural without thought. But when I'm talking about getting uncomfortable, basically, for example, filming this YouTube video is uncomfortable for me because I am talking to a camera and that makes me uncomfortable. Editing this and listening to the sound of my voice makes me cringe. But the beauty of this discomfort is that I get to expand. I get to learn how to edit and dive into my creativity. I get to empower my self-confidence and articulate the words that I want to express. And there's just so much beauty in it. It's more than just being uncomfortable, it's making it to the other side of that discomfort, because then you start to realize that you're capable of so much. We limit ourselves so much in this life, and it can be disheartening when you think about it, because in this human existence, sometimes our brains in moments don't even have the capacity to realize what we're capable of. But by getting uncomfortable, you're able to realize that. And your soul doesn't know fear. Your soul doesn't know discomfort. It's our human form that, in our human mind, that like creates these boundaries and limits on ourselves. So when you do things that make you uncomfortable, you're setting your soul free. And that is, I almost want to cry thinking about it, but that is such a powerful experience to embody and to practice as much as you can, because I feel like the more you start to do things that make you uncomfortable, you then reach a point of fearlessness, honestly, because you're like, well, if I did that, then I can do this. And if I did this, then I can do that. And it just continues to make space for what you thought at one point was impossible. The third one is surrender, and surrender to the experience. And surrenderance has been a huge theme in my life right now, and I will continue to carry that into every aspect of my life. But basically, a lot of times or at least I looked at surrenderance as basically failure. Like, if I'm surrendering, that means I'm giving up. But if you are someone who thinks that way, I encourage you to look at it as a form of release, and a form of letting go of any attachments of the outcome of how you think things should be. Because what you'll start to realize when you let go, you'll realize this human experience is to simply live and to simply be. And nothing is ever stagnant. Things are constantly flowing and changing, whether those are good things, whether those are negative things, however you choose to perceive it. But by surrendering, we let go of that like grip that we have on how things should be, and we make space for ourselves to truly live and be free. Basically, in this human form, I see my human form as my soul's outlet. My soul is flowing things through me, and so by surrendering and letting go, I'm gonna have negative thoughts. In this capitalistic society, we deal with pressure of how we should look, how much money we should make, certain milestones where it's like, at this age you should be doing this. If you haven't done this by age 30, then you're looked at as a failure in this capitalistic society. And so when you just surrender, there is none of that. There is no attachment to an outcome, what you should be, what you shouldn't be. You're just honoring your soul, and you're allowing things to flow through you, and understand that nothing is constant. Change is always happening. Evolution is always happening. So when you just surrender to that, you start to enjoy life more. You start to loosen up a little bit and not stress as much, because you know that things are always changing. Hopefully that makes sense. So the next thing and the final thing that I want to talk about is gratitude. And this goes hand in hand with surrenderance and gratitude. If you couple that together, you will experience life in a completely different way. And this is so important, being in a capitalistic society where it's about more money, more cars, more clothes, more friends.
And I've learned in my life, like with human beings, if you are looking to gratify yourself with things, like, you will never have enough. You understand? If you are looking to gratify yourself with the desires of the flesh, like you're lusting over people and money and all these things, you're greedy, you will never satisfy yourself. You will drown in your own desires. We see it happen all the time.
It's always just a matter of like constantly desiring things and never reaching a state of pure peace and contentment. However, if you couple surrenderance and gratitude and you bring those together, then that's what you will reach, a point of peace. And it's so funny, I was thinking about this today, how I manifested a better relationship with money. And what that looked like for me is, I had this scarcity mindset with money. I was like a hoarder with my money. I would save my money, and it would be difficult for me to justify spending my money that I worked for on myself. And so I kind of just wrote about what my relationship with money will look like going forward. And now it's crazy that I don't really care to make more money. I don't really care to have more things. I know that whatever I need, I already have, and what I want, I already have. And just by speaking that out loud, I really this is not to say that I don't have desires or I don't want things, but I just know what I have is enough. Who I am is enough. Like, my beingness is enough. I don't have to have things to justify my success or my value. I can just be me and allow what's meant for me to naturally attract to me and have gratitude in that. And when you have gratitude, it's like the littlest things, like the fact that I can look outside of my window and see trees makes me happy. And I know that sounds corny, but in your day-to-day of work and school and, you know, pleasing people and all the things that we face in this capitalistic society, just take a moment to have gratitude and express gratitude, whether it's for family, whether it's toward friends, whether, you know, you receive, like I received this coloring book recently. I ordered it, and I'm like so grateful for this because it's allowing me to connect with my inner child. So it's just like, when you have gratitude, you start to see how abundant the world truly is, despite the fact that this capitalistic society makes it seem like you have to climb ladders and go through hoops and hurdles just to be where you want to be. But the reality is that there's enough for everyone. This world and realm that we're in is so abundant that sometimes I feel like our human mind doesn't even have the capacity, because it's like, this is so much. There's so many options. You don't even know what to decide on. And so that's where surrenderance comes in. You just surrender to the experience of this human form, and you can truly enjoy life. So I hope that made sense. I feel like I rehearsed how I wanted to go through this, and I didn't really do it justice, but I am hoping that what I said resonates with someone out there. And this is the first video that I'm going to be posting on YouTube. This is me getting out of my comfort zone and hoping that someone receives this message in the way that they are supposed to. I'm not doing this for like views. I actually am not even like sharing this on social media. So whoever it comes across, it comes across. But I just want to thank you so much for watching this video. And again, this is Anita's World. This is a safe space for everyone. So dialogue is welcomed. Who you are, how you think is not right or wrong. I truly don't believe in the extremes that exist in this paradigm. So just know that whether you do these practices or not, you are worthy, you are valuable by simply being.